That's very important. And then, obviously with leasing, it's much quicker to getting into the market. It's a faster market entry. So you can enter competitive markets more easily and quickly than waiting to purchase. I mean, with interest rates the way they are now, home supplies are not as high as, they were. It's just not a lot. It's not as many homes available for sale, and then the prices are inflated. So, if you're trying to get in a competitive market, leasing might be the best way. So, that's some of the things that we think that leasing a property opposed to buying will make sense in the beginning. So, um, understanding is this. So when you do go for your leasing, one thing you want to start looking at is like the zoning. And you want to make sure that you're getting a property that's in the proper area. You don't want to go lease a property that can't actually do you can't actually do a facility. Often required for, you often in state specific use occupancy. So they always ask for, on most applications in most states, they ask for use occupancy from your zoning, use and occupancy. So you just want to make sure you're usually in the R1 or R2 zones. R2 being the better, because you could probably do more units or more beds. So, just being familiarizing yourself with the zoning requirements is very important. And it makes you look, more professional and prepared when you start dealing with these when you approach landlords who actually own the properties in these zones. So obviously, once you do your research and figure out what zones you want to be in and what type of properties you want to go after and what areas, these are the landlords in these places that you're going to be communicating with. So just research thoroughly before approaching property owners to address potential concerns. You don't want to you don't want to go down too far down the road and then wait and be like, hold on, we can't even do this here, or we can't do this here, or we limited to beds here. So, just understanding that zoning is really important for up front in your area, so you can know exactly what you could do and what you can't do. And you could just sometimes you could call your zoning and permit office to get some information. A lot of times you could talk to a realtor. A lot of times we have realtors in our network that we can reach out to, can give us some information and some insight. But either way, you want to make sure you're highly informed with the zoning when you start approaching these landlords, so you can know exactly what you can and can't do, and where you can do it at. When you start thinking about landlords are no different than any other type of entrepreneur.